Oh my god, and we're back after what, like a month and a half of hiatus. Feels good to be back. A lot of shit's kind of been going down, but it's kind of hard to go all over that stuff. So let's just kind of start fresh and just do a weekly thing from now on for everybody watching. So I'm your host, Senor Filth. I got Benevolent Asshole down there, and we have a new
Down here.
and we have a new guest, someone that I've kind of been trying to get on the show for like a year or so. Jamie, if you want to introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Jamie. I'm critically introverted. And I didn't realize it'd been a year. My sense of time's a little bit, a little bit skewed.
It may have been less, or I have no idea, but yeah, time has been so fast and slow these last has it been like 3 years since COVID happened, or two?
I think I might have been. It's getting closer to 3 at this point, I think. But there's definitely been a lot of weird stuff happen
Yeah,
consistently, like things that you're like, oh, is that a joke? Like,
yeah.
there's no way this fucking article is real.
I
Yeah,
guess.
it not to get too weird, but yeah, it seems that and I was talking to somebody else about this too, but
Mhm,
sometimes like you'll read something and like the following week, it seemed like that story will change. I don't know
mhm.
if it's because we're jumping like parallel universes, or is it because the media has so much control over the stories
I
Oh,
think.
that
they'll definitely go
stuff
back
will
and edit.
change.
I
Yeah,
think.
it's just weird because like there's
I,
like certain things I'm like, hey, you should look up this story, and then like the person will read it, and then the stuff that I had initially read about that story will be different.
I
And I'm
think
like, well,
that.
hold on, kind of like almost like a Mandela effect, where
Yeah.
I remember that story being this way, and now it's like something else. And then me telling somebody about this story makes me sound like I'm crazy.
Yeah, I think that's just a product of like social media and everything being so fast paced and shit like that. It's a wild time to be alive.
I think
Um,
yeah, that's what's messing around with like time, like the perception of time.
yeah. So I mean, like, there's always going to be like stories that come out, and then like a lot of like bullshit and like assumptions come in, and then you have to sort of weed out all that bullshit and see where the truth kind of is, and do your best. It's I think it's just one of
Yeah.
those things you have to kind of have the patience for. Like very early on when this whole like COVID happened, I was trying to tell people like if you're gonna like follow the news, be patient with it and don't like um jump all in because you're just gonna get confused and freaked out. So, but of course
Yeah,
they didn't listen to me, and
that's what I've noticed. That's why I've kind of like laid low and not like been too much on social media because it seems that everybody wants to jump on the story. Like they want to
yeah,
have like an opinion about things, especially if it's in their favor. They want to jump on and be like, "Hey, yeah," and kind of like rub it in your face. Well, you have to
They
like
don't
really
even
wait
look it up.
for all the information to come in.
say it
Right. They don't
again.
even
Yeah,
look
go
for
ahead.
source information. They never look for source information. They don't read to the end of an article. They don't have the attention span, and then they'll share these things, and and it's like on all sides, it's be some shit that's completely off the wall, like
Yeah,
false,
Hmm.
yeah.
and they'll not look into it further. I see some things. I'm like, wow, I'm curious about that. That sounds pretty fucking crazy. I want to, go look into it and verify that it's actually something.
Mm,
like Biden shitting his pants at the Vatican. Like,
yeah.
crazy, crazy things. Like he said, what now? Like he said that? No way, he said that.
Hmm.
And then you go back, But if somebody never looks, they're never gonna know. They're just gonna perpetually spread shit.
You kind of have to become like the journalist because you have to look at the story and kind of like ask yourself, what questions are they not answering that I should know? And that's where you kind of start from
Yeah.
there.
Oh yeah, Jay's on. What's up, Jay?
What's up, guys?
What's
Happy to
up?
join you.
It's been a while, man.
Yep, yep. I've been staying offline.
That's a very wise thing to do, I gotta say. Like, it,
It's not easy, not automatic, but it is. I'm a lot happier. I feel like I live a lot more actual life.
yeah.
It's uh, it's good stuff.
It is a trip to like take at least a week off from anything news related and then just come back into it, and it just feels like 30 years have passed or something like that. It's the wildest fucking thing. All right, so I guess
with the modern news technology, just the amount of data that can get thrown at you in a short period of time is overwhelming. And when everything has at least a tinge of propaganda to it, it just makes for a good old time.
yeah, that was one of the weirdest things I noticed in New Year's Eve. I was at someone's house and they had like the news on, and they had like a little ticker on the bottom, and it said like, you know, this year's biggest news stories, and it was just like a bunch of like who gives a shit stories, like fucking someone broke up with this bitch kind of shit, like no
Celebrity
mention,
shit.
yeah, like no mentions of like the Twitter file leaks or nothing, and this was like, you know, ABC News or whatever. So this is like shit that like a lot of people are getting fed, like just nonsense. And it's I really see like history is kind of being really like fucked with. I guess people's perception of history, like what's really going on. It just makes you
Yeah, it's like
wonder.
digital.
Yeah. And
They'll memory hole the articles, and like if they get too much attention on it, they'll go back and edit shit out. They're like, oh, we fucked up. We're not going to say we fucked up. We're not going to be accountable for our actions. We're just going to go back and like edit this document so that the next time you go and visit that page, it says something totally different.
Yeah.
And they just get rid of it completely.
Plus, they've been like changing the definitions of things, which is creepy as hell.
Yeah, don't you love it?
Yeah, so it is super bizarre time we're living in.
It's the art of strategic mistakes.
Yeah.
You know, if you make the wrong mistake with the news, go back and correct it. Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
You know, human error.
It does make you wonder though if this has been going on for a lot longer than we've noticed, and I think that's a lot for people to take in. So it's a fucking interesting time to be alive. But, you know, thank God we got this kind of technology where people can talk to each other and just try to confirm our realities to the best we can.
Like, am I going crazy, or is this shit really happening? Like, are you experiencing the same thing?
Yeah. Like, what was it just yesterday? That whole thing with the spy balloon in Minnesota, was it? From China?
Yeah, I saw that.
Like that just happened yesterday. And I think there was another one. Yeah, and I think there was another one confirmed today or something like that, just like the Pentagon. So it's an interesting time. So I guess
what are they gonna do about it?
I don't know, man.
Not a damn thing.
So I guess we're just gonna kind of go into our thoughts about what this first article is. How do I do the screen share on this thing again? Okay, there it is. This one of the most annoying articles I've seen. Wait, we're not gonna really read it, but just the GOP base is still resentful over a COVID response, and when I see this kind of shit, like I can't even describe like how annoyed and pissed I get, and when I see this kind of just like the smugness of all this shit, and like how can you have like some real, I don't know, like a lack of, I don't know, cognitive dissonance to like not realize why people are pissed. So I don't know, what do you guys?
It's like, gee, you don't say. Like, it might not have, you know, they've had AI writing news articles for a very long time, and they're just now starting to talk about it. So who's to say that something, because I read through this, and it was a very painful read. It's just so stupid. Like, of course people are resentful. You ruined our economy, shut everything down, made people sicker, gave them bad healthcare advice, censored people who are actually trying to, you know, tell people like take iron and zinc, magnesium, you know, like common knowledge things, like, but you got like guy over here with a mask on, pulling it down, touching it, sneezing into it, and continuing to wear it for like the next month or more.
I think more.
And that's supposed to be healthy.
I mean, I think mask people are gonna wear it probably forever. Especially here in LA. Like I still see people rocking double mask and shit like that. And
oh my god.
But it's
you
like,
laugh at them, because I would stare and like giggle like a schoolgirl, like I just saw like the funniest shit. What are you doing? Are you okay?
I do think that it's gonna be like when tourists come into LA, it's gonna be like, you know, how if you would like to visit like the Amish country to just to see like the Amish live in their own little world, it's gonna be kind of the same when people go to LA and see people in masks, like, oh look, you still wear masks here, and that hilarious, take pictures with them and shit like that.
Shit,
But
Amish are making a lot more sense than most people, like the Amish and the Mennonite communities. Like,
yeah,
these days
I know.
they're pretty sick of this shit. They have their own like banks and stuff, you know.
yeah, the Amish
They're
are
set.
yeah, the Amish are fucking kicking ass right now. Like, what a like awesome setup they have and had, and everyone's been kind of like making fun of them, but like nothing's changed for them, and they're still going strong. I'm not
Oh yeah.
like have you guys ever seen anything about like the what do you call it, like the COVID rates in the Amish communities? 'Cause I haven't seen anything, but I can't imagine that they've really been affected by it at all.
There's gotta
I
be
would
some kind of
imagine their
stat.
immune systems are a tier above.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. But I mean, I don't know, like when I see this kind of shit, this sort of attitude, and it's always brought by like people that like had such a comfortable last couple years and never realized it, and just turned their nose up at anyone who had any kind of criticism whatsoever. And it's like, how do you like just genuinely sleep at night? I don't know.
People are, they're scared. A lot of people are just like, it's a lot of fear-based responses, and they do take everything that they see on mainstream news as an absolute truth. They're not going to look into it any further. They just think it's like a consensus.
Yeah.
They see that it's and it's not even a real consensus. It's a manufactured one. So they see people in this manufactured consensus, and they're scared, and so they make these decisions based off of fear. And then, you know, when you try to tell somebody that they're wrong, you know, they take it as an attack on themselves, attack on their intelligence, and it's just it's this cognitive dissonance there, like a double think. Like, you know, somebody will know something's not right, but they're not willing to admit how it's not right, or that they had some kind of fault.
Yeah, the fear thing is really weird, because it's like I think a lot of people have their positions or whatever you want to call it, like just based on the fear that they're gonna like maybe lose friends or something. Like there's like a social net that they fear that they're gonna lose from just venturing off that little, like, you know, comfortable island of opinion, and just, you know, look past what's given to them. And like I've had so many people like either walk away from me or like get even like kind of like raise their voice at me when I'm just like trying to explain to them things that are a little bit more thorough, you know what I mean? Whether it be
Don't
like
try to make sense.
like I've tried, and like I literally gotten like people like yell at me or like gang up on me and shit like that. And it's like when I see that article, that Washington Post article, it's like they really fucked with like these, I don't know what you call it, like the social fabric of like the society or the world or the country. Like people just can't talk to each other now because of like that kind of ilk of person, like that snobby elitist person that just never had to like worry about, you know, how they're gonna pay the bills, how they're gonna like their job, like just little things like that. And like the fact that
have
there's
money when nothing's open and everybody's out of work.
Yeah, and the fact that like they just have no awareness of like why people would be annoyed. Like it's like how the fuck do you live your life not noticing that kind of shit?
I think they do. I think they see it. I think they know. I think they're just like projecting. They're like, it's like, I did something to fucking piss you off. Why are you mad? Why would you be mad that I did this thing to ruin your life? Why
Yeah.
would you be mad at that? How dare you? How dare you?
When's the last time you heard a Democrat say they made a mistake?
Oh, that's all the time. I never.
I did not have sexual relations with that woman.
Yeah.
Why would you ever listen to transphobic, extremist, alt-right,
Yeah.
super Nazis that are fighting for freedom? Like, why?
I'm just gonna say,
Why would the people that advocate for
I'm
the government to
scared of
leave people
country.
alone, you know,
Yeah.
Some of these trends out there are
the
scary
Nazis?
for me because I'm small and some of them are great big old ladies,
Yeah.
you know, huge. And they might fight me because they're also a girl.
Yeah. It's like I've seen it like sort of like just regular people turn on each other on this kind of shit, and it seems like the ones that are the more like wrapped up in like the mainstream bubble are gone like the most annoying, and when they really shouldn't, because you know discourse is healthy, but like when there's this thing of like if you remind me of an identity that's like a neo-Nazi MAGA person, like if you even utter words that are something that they would say, you should be shunned. You should, you know, I've had like literally people just like yell at me and ask me like, "What's my sources?" or something like that, and it is just like just through conversation and stuff. So
I'm sorry. I didn't know it was my responsibility to go do the research for you and
yeah,
to maybe like if you have an interest in it, look more into it.
yeah,
Like
yeah. And it's annoying too because a lot of the people that like followed this kind of like or not followed it, but like went along with this stuff, a lot of them that were the most annoying, like they had a kind of very secure kind of job position, whether it be like a lot of them were like they worked in some kind of government job, they were kind of salary based work or something like that. They didn't know like why someone like me that like has to literally go into my job to make money, like why I'd be objecting to this kind of shit. And instead it's either shun me or, you know, don't talk to me or something like that. And it's, I don't know, it's really fucked with just, I think, everyday life for people.
like with friends and family because this
Mhm.
is sad, you know, like you want to be able to have that conversation. And I have friends that have like totally different opinions,
Yeah.
different political views. I mean, me and a best friend of mine back in what was this, like 2016, it was when Hillary Clinton was running against Trump. And my friend is a Bernie supporter. I'm clearly a Trump supporter. And so we go to this Clinton rally that's in this small town in North Carolina, and it's right next to like a larger town where
Mhm.
they have bigger arenas. They have a stadium. Like,
Yeah.
you know, Trump's been there and he you know, fills the place. They had her at a community college. They had her at a community college with like these, you know, this really small stadium, and they only let a certain amount of people in,
Yeah.
right? And it was like, it was pathetic. You know,
Mhm.
it's like you can't tell me that's the consensus that that's what's popular.
Yeah.
But I mean, I've always appreciated having friends that can have a difference of opinion with me, but they're not gonna like say, "Oh, I disown you. Oh, I don't want to keep your company anymore. Like you're nothing. You're not human to me anymore because you don't agree with me."
Yeah, that's kind of like been warped because it used to be that like you can have different opinion, native friends, stuff like that. But now it's like if someone's has a different opinion, they're somehow dangerous. Whether it be they're gonna spread a sickness that's gonna kill your nana, or they, you know, fucking had some like 6 degrees of separation with with January 6th on you. Like I've had people out of nowhere just get mad at me and just bring up January 6th to me for some reason. Like, I have no idea where that connection even happened.
It's the news.
They want to see that you're just as mad about X as they are, and that does go both ways. There's a lot of that. I want to feel like we care about the same things. That is part of the reason why we always talk past each other.
Yeah,
because they're not the same things. Like voting, election security, and voter suppression, related issues, but never discussed side by side, because each tribe has their side, and it's like, I don't want any votes to be suppressed, and I want the shit to be secure. Shut up.
Common sense.
Let's get under the hood.
Yeah.
And shut up for a second.
Yeah, I kind of make it, like, I sort of wish like politicians didn't have a D or an R in their title. Like, it was just, you vote for this person. It, like, there's no party affiliation. Like, they could be, but just leave that completely unknown, and just, but that requires too much.
Then you'd have to be research. God forbid.
I know that requires that kind of stuff, and that's just something that people just aren't interested in, and which is weird how like little research people do. Because I think people get the idea that like I'm like this fucking, you know, news junkie guy that like reads every fucking article, but you know, I sort of just I don't know, like I listen to a couple podcasts here and there, but that's kind of it. And it's a trip that the loudest people are some of the least informed people also. I don't know how the fuck that's even a thing.
They're easy to wind up.
Yeah.
Squeaky wheels.
Like it reminds me of like in high school. Did you guys ever hear the phrase poser back in like high school and middle school?
Yeah.
It feels sort of like that. Like I used to hang out with like some punks. Yeah, I used to hang out with like some punks in high school, and like they were like legit, you know, make their own clothes, go to shows, punks. Like they were rare, but like everyone around that would like kind of like be on their nuts. Like you could tell they were more in it for the fashion of it, and yeah,
like, you're so cool. I just want to be you.
Yeah, that stuff. Instead of like, which is funny because like those particular punks, like they were super dorky and geeky, but you know, like people had like this thought that they were just the coolest thing ever. And I don't know. It was just, it really kind of opened my eyes on like how fake people can be even since then. So, but now to see that kind of like in the context of like politics, like how like posery people are when it comes to like politics, you know what I mean? it's some wild shit, man.
They speak in identifiers like, I want you to know which team I'm on.
Yeah.
It's
if
like
you say problematic, we know which side you're on, you know. That kind of crap.
Yeah, have a Bernie shirt.
That's what Bernie Sanders was really good at. He was really good at sort of like capitalizing on that sort of like indie sort of poser hipster sort of like crowd that sort of doesn't really care. So like he got like the Strokes to like perform at one of his rallies, and then he had like this other band too, Portugal the Man. He would always get like these sort of like hip sort of like type music bands to like perform at his rallies to kind of garner attention. And it was like who cares? Like who the hell he's having at his rallies? I mean, listen to the things he's saying. It's
it was so bizarre.
The fact that Trump went on the Nelk Boys but hasn't gone on Tim Pool should tell you everything.
Yeah, that's it annoys me like how much the right is so clueless with I don't know, with culture or whatever you want to call it. Like they have no idea like how to even reach in that realm. It's so frustrating because like everything woke entertainment is becoming so lame and so easy to parody. Like you could like there should be so much comedy based shows that lambast woke culture, but it's like, where the fuck is it? Like it's
I watch a lot of Steven Crowder. I like Steven Crowder's jokes. I think they're pretty fucking hilarious sometimes.
But there should be like more Steven Crowder kind of things on like a you know, a big platform, not just like
Like
random
theater
YouTuber.
kids.
Yeah, yeah.
You need like a bunch of weird artsy theater kids to get together that have that, you know, point of view or opinion
Mm-hmm.
and want to express it, but like a lot don't because they just don't want to get demonized for it. Most people in like the artsy community, theater community, filmmaking, stuff like that, they're all super what you would call liberal, like modern liberal.
Mm-hmm. I don't even know if
Well,
they.
I think.
Oh, go
Well,
ahead.
I think they have like unlimited amount of money though. Like they have the Federal Reserve. They can just
Yeah.
They got my
put out as
taxes.
much money. Yeah. It's like I always bring this thing up, but like if you look at all the magazines that
Mm-hmm.
are like the supermarket, like who the hell buys these magazines? Like if I had a business selling these magazines, it's like I would go bankrupt like within like a week or like a day.
Yeah.
Like there's all these magazines like, and if you look at the cover, it's always Harry Styles. It's always like some trans. It's always like the same faces. Who the hell is paying for that? And it's just like unlimited power, just limited money. The same thing that they're doing with the art community. It's like, and I think there's a lot of really talented people that I know, and I see, I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, you're doing propaganda, propaganda. It's like you're making good money, but you're making propaganda. I'm sorry, and they'll get pissed at me, but it is what it is, and
Yeah.
uh, it's just hard. Like I think the only way to go is just independent, but it's just they have unlimited amount of resources and money, and
Mhm.
that's what we
Since,
tend to see more.
since we're on a show about creative introverts, I think it's interesting that we're talking about creative extroverts essentially right
Yeah.
now. The people that are
Mhm.
all about what's trendy, what can get me to talk to the most people, connect to the most things, and then that just carries them on to
Yeah.
Hollywood and the rest of it. And
Well, I've seen like
it
some artists that already have like a good following, and they're sharing this stupid vaccine crap, like go get vaccinated or like wear a mask. I'm like, dude, you're already good. You don't have to like
Yeah.
share these stupid like ads. I mean, you're already doing good for yourself. You don't need to. But I feel like they're just trying to capitalize as much as possible. I'm like,
Mm.
but do you really have to?
well, if you don't, you get ostracized. So it's like it's their livelihood that's on the line, and
Yeah.
the
I guess.
opportunities in that system are still like that's where the money's at. Like as an individual, you can make more if you're a successful creator and you
Mhm.
own your own stuff. But as a middle of the pack talented person, you're better in the system.
I think you can be successful, like kind of like if you kind of do things on your own, just kind of have like a
Mhm.
modest sort of like following. You don't have to have like I have like
Like
a small
organically.
following, but I have like a consistent sort of like following where I'm getting work, I'm staying busy, and I'm turning down like when and there's like a bunch of like events that I've turned down because they'll drop at the last minute. Oh, is it just make sure that you bring your vaccine card. I'm like,
Yeah.
hell no, I'm not gonna bring no. I'm not gonna like get vaccinated just for this event. It's like, who do you think I am? So I mean, I think
Like,
people can do it. It's just what we're going through is a social experiment. We're being treated like mice,
Mhm.
and people just need to like pass the test. Like just live it out. I mean, you'll get you'll get through it. If you do enough praying, you'll. I mean, I've been able to get through it. I thought I was gonna like not not make it, but somehow like even with having to turn down a lot of these events because
Yeah.
of the requirements, like I've been able to make like a um, modestly successful, I guess you could say.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think a lot of people are just scared to kind of stand on their own 2 feet like that, and it's it sucks that like I mean maybe like I've said this before, but like I think you probably need to like fight propaganda with your own kind of propaganda. Like there should be more messaging of like standing on your own 2 feet, and like
Hmm.
entrepreneurship should be like much more celebrated and pushed out there. But now it's like some of the biggest entrepreneurs are always villainized, you know what I mean? And like there's valid criticisms of like
Some of them are
that.
really villains.
Yeah,
Bill Gates,
but even
for
just like
example,
yeah. But yeah,
he
just
deserves everything that goes at him.
yeah, I mean, hopefully, but I don't think he's gonna get any like. I think they still pretty much kind of love him for some reason, but
Who is it that you're talking about?
Bill Gates.
Oh, that motherfucker.
Microsoft.
Yeah.
I don't
What
know.
about that guy?
Only
Depopulation via vaccine. That guy.
Yeah,
He had a
he
TED talk
said-
about it.
Yeah, that TED Talk, it's like, that's my go-to because he openly says it. And he's like, through reproductive health, through vaccines, and through, what's the other
Yeah.
one? It's the third thing. You can reduce the carbon footprint by blah, blah, blah amount.
Yeah, he laughs about it too, like piece of shit.
Yeah.
Well, he laughed because most of the people watching that probably just totally missed what he said, just went over their heads. They're not doing the math there.
They're not even really
he's like,
listening either. They're not listening. They're just like, they're seeing him and just, it's like, have you guys ever seen Wayne's World, the first Wayne's World movie? Remember when he sees like the guitar or the chick he wants, and like the screen fuzzes out and there's like stars, and he sees the girl, but there's like some music playing in the background kind of shit. I think that's kind of the same thing with like people like Bill Gates. Like they don't listen to him, they just see his image and they just have like this sparkly kind of
his name is propped up out there.
Yeah, so I don't know how that's gonna end, but
I think people just need to like make more. Oh, sorry.
Go
Oh no, my bad. I'm just saying, people
think
associate him with like humanitarian deeds, and he's really like on this crazy population control shit. But some people actually want that now. Like,
yeah, when I went to the aquarium last week or the week before, I don't remember, but like in the Long Beach Aquarium, and like in one of the rooms, it's like just completely like dedicated to like overpopulation, shit like that. It's like super
good old California.
And it's like, what do you guys think this messaging is gonna lead to? Like, what do you guys?
I used to want to visit Cali.
There's too many people, but we're not going to say anymore.
So, it's funny you should say that. There's a reptile museum, and I don't know if it's still here, but it was in Wilmington, North Carolina, and they had a wall on one end of the lobby, right at the entrance when you walk in. The whole thing was dedicated to talking about chemtrails. It was an informational wall about chemtrails. Shit you not.
Really?
And I saw this when I was maybe like 11 years old, and I read it, and I was sitting here reading this, and I'm like, whoa, this is crazy. You look more into it, and you're like, yeah, you're doing it. If you watch the sky, you're doing it. Just sit down all day and watch them. Just people still think it doesn't exist.
Yeah.
You know what? Like one time, like over like where I live at, I actually saw them like do like what it looked like was like a pentagram in the sky. I was like, are you fucking? I was like praying. I was like, man, these guys are crazy.
But with the aquarium thing, I would like actually, I think a week or two before the shutdowns first happened, back 2-3 years ago, whatever. I went to the aquarium, the same aquarium, and they had like the room, the overpopulation room was bigger because I think they were doing renovations last week when I went or whatever. But they had like this big map, and it like did this thing where it had a number of like, the higher the population, the more what do you call it? The more pollution that country has or whatever like that. So, and they even had like, that carbon footprint shit. And I was just looking at it, just like, what are they trying to like push with this? Like, this is it's the room where like kids are it's like one of those interactive museum rooms where like kids push buttons and shit like that, and it's all,
there you go.
And it's all fucking overpopulation shit, carbon footprint stuff.
Now they're like pushing for like human composting.
Yeah.
As well too.
They're gonna put the Neuralink chips in us so they can count how many breaths we have and tax us for every CO2 emission.
Yeah.
That's the end state.
Well, they're targeting the kids because kids are obviously impressionable, as we all know, because we've all been kids at some point, unless you were just like, born a fucking crotchety adult. So they target the kids. They become adults who, all of a sudden you're an adult. You're responsible for things. You say things and people listen to you. They might even take you serious.
Yeah.
And that's, you get people like Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez in Congress.
She's great. I like her.
Oh my God. Sick.
She's
She looks
disgustingly popular.
Yeah, I had like in LA, she's like she's the bomb out here in LA. People they really love her over here, and I don't know why.
I like sometimes Stein.
She was the go-to for the stoners of Stockton, California. So that's
Yeah, like,
that's all I can say.
Yeah, there's people that like
It's
think
depressing.
they like her because she thinks she's hot, but it's
She's a
Yeah,
butterface.
that's a dumb reason to vote for someone.
yeah, she's like she's not
But
ugly, but
sometimes the reverse is true. Mitch McConnell scares the shit out of me.
yeah, he's
Oh my god, how's he still alive? Meat suit. Like his meat suit just fucking like autopiloting itself while he's doing his like Masonic hand symbols and shit in his congressional speeches. Fucking creepy.
Him and Dianne Feinstein are on the same crap. Somehow still going.
Yeah.
Okay. I guess we can kind of go into this. We're gonna go into the Zachary Levy thing, but let's go into this Madonna thing. That
No, Madonna.
Yeah.
Good lord.
First,
Speaking of tabloid articles, she's the music equivalent of that. I don't think I've actually heard one of her songs. Like actually played it.
Really?
you're not
Around.
missing much.
She was like
her music
yeah.
stinks.
I
Well,
Aikido'd that.
okay. Like
kept that
she
crap
used to be
away.
like really popular like back in the day.
She was always like second under to Michael Jackson, like in the 80s and 90s, and there was always like this attempt to try to like make her like equivalent to Michael Jackson, but I never thought she was ever a talented singer or whatever. I always fucking thought she was like the most overrated artist ever.
She's nasty.
Yeah, MJ's the GOAT.
People will say
down.
like she's overrated.
No one can compare.
Oh,
but
yeah,
like
definitely.
if you look at the music industry, like everybody that came after her is trying to be like her. You have like Gwen Stefani, you have Pink, you have a bunch of other girls, Christina Aguilera, like all these other like girl singers.
Jessica Simpson, Britney Spears.
Simpsons, they're all kind of like these clones of like remnants of what Madonna used to be.
Even Miley Cyrus,
isn't it?
Yeah.
Like
she was kind of like a symbol of feminism back in the 90s.
And she was so terrible. Like her like genuinely her music is pretty awful. Like I'm not even
I do actually like Miley Cyrus's music. I think she's talented, so happily say that. But yeah,
I can't say I've listened to any songs.
Everything I've ever heard about Madonna makes me hate her, so
I can't stand her voice, but I like that one song of that one cover that she did, Miley Cyrus. I can't remember. It's like an old 80s song or 90s song.
Are you talking about like?
I just like that old song.
Are you talking about like Disney Channel Miley Cyrus or like I'm a Hoe all of a sudden Miley Cyrus?
That happens to all of them.
The stoner in between.
Okay.
Miley Cyrus.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll Vic for a vote for Hillary Clinton, Miley Cyrus.
Ugh.
When she smoked with Snoop Dogg around that time.
It's all very like ritualistic. Like they're emulating all these symbols that these stars are doing. It's not about their talent. I don't think it's about the music. It's not about making an art form for them. It's about like this weird priestesshood.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's a lot of weird, occult symbolism all over it, and they just say, "Oh, it's just trendy." Like, it's just trendy. It's just a cool fucking hip thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
I think what celebrities serve is that they are propped up by the media, and they serve as icons or symbols of people that you can trust, and they tend to like lean towards like philanthropy, and that's why they tend to be trusted. Just like in Madonna's case, like where she started this nonprofit, and then she's like adopting all these kids from Haiti. Why is it that like she's doing it? Why is it that Angelina Jolie is doing it? How come they don't adopt kids here in the United States? Why is it that it's always like some third world country? It's because they can exploit. It's a lot easier for them to take advantage and use the. I think some of the kids that she got from for adoption, that essentially, if you read the thread, she adopted like a bunch of kids from that one country in Africa. I think is it
Malawi?
Malawi, I think.
I think that's how you pronounce it. Is there any
There's a place called Malawi's Pizza in Utah that donates money with every pizza you buy. It is an amazing pizza place, and yeah, they actually work with that region. Yeah, maybe the money goes nowhere, but it's good pizza.
I feel like that South Park episode with God, what was it, Sally Struthers?
Let me see if I can pull it up on my
UNICEF. Where the Starving Marvin. Remember that episode? You go to Africa, and it's hoarding all the relief effort and all the food. And it's just this big blob.
Like a
That's
Jabba
what's
the
really
Hutt.
going on.
Yeah. I think also I think it's also like just it's easy for them to like do manipulation over there, since it's untouched, no one's gonna be looking at them, but there's a savior complex that they have, which is annoying. Was there any thing in this thread that you wanted to point out? You're looking for
it's
I see everything, but well,
it's similarity to so many other celebrities.
What's happening? Like, let me
start
off with the EWF, which stands for Ethiopian World Federation. They're the ones that, like, a few weeks ago, this story came out. They're
oh crap! Here, your sound is kind of cutting off a little bit.
Really, I'm speaking right into the microphone too.
I'm getting like what do you call it? It's getting like glitchy.
Echo?
You want to sign? You want to sign off and then back in, maybe?
I'm
getting like some weird feedback on your side.
Sure.
Kind of like the computer voice.
Yeah, it's half choppy.
Yeah,
let
me
echo.
log out.
I think you're good right now.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Okay. I
yep,
think go
it's
ahead.
cleared up.
Go on. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Sure.
I gotta go back. Okay, so the EWF stands for Ethiopian World Federation. Mm-hmm. They were pushing for the president of I have to find that. Is it Maui or
Malawi?
Not Maui? Malawi.
Mm-hmm.
Malawi. Okay, so the country in Africa, that's where she's being investigated, because that's where she has her I think it's called like a nonprofit.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason for that is because of all these different things that she's been doing over the years. Let me pull up. One of the things was in 1992. She has this. Maybe I'll come back to that one, to the book.
Mm-hmm.
But the people that she adopts, there's like a pattern.
Yeah.
The first case is like this one guy. Like if you scroll down to, I'm looking at it in my own browser just because I'm trying to read it like with big fonts.
Yeah.
But it says Baby David Banda. If you want to scroll down to that.
Tell me when I'm
like
there.
Scroll down more.
This guy?
Yeah, right there.
Okay.
Right there, that guy. So all the families that she goes to, or she meets,
mm-hmm.
She tells them that, I'm just gonna adopt them, but then I'm gonna like return the kids. So like,
you're getting like digitally again.
I'm getting digital.
Uh-oh. I think we lost him.
Okay. What happened?
I think you're good.
I am good?
Yeah, okay. Yeah, go ahead. You're talking about David Banda?
Maybe, you know what, like maybe you should just make this thread available so people can read, like whoever wants to read. But if you look at all the different stories, every encounter that she has with these families, it's always, I'm just gonna give your baby like a better life. And then in some cases, like the mother just recently like passed away after birth.
Yeah.
And these are like really poor people. So they don't know anything about the law or about like what was it called? Like attorneys. She had like attorneys actually like help her get custody of some of these kids.
Yeah.
But they don't know any better. They just trusted Madonna, like, well, she's a superstar, she's from America, she's gonna be genuine about this, she's gonna return them within a couple of years. And that was the deal that she had with all these different families. And it's, I think, a set of twins that she took from Malawi, and then a boy that ended up growing up with her Yeah, I think he's now. If you see here, he's trans now. He's dressing up like a boy.
Is that David Banda guy?
So
Yeah.
the World Federation of yeah, that's the David Band. So this is the reason why the World Federation of Ethiopia want the president of Malawi to investigate her, because they're accusing her of social experiments like this, because he was in. If he would have grown up in Africa, that wouldn't have happened to him.
Yeah.
And
Ugh.
It's
it's
interesting.
just it's just an exploitation of poor people in a third world country, and that's what it seems. There's like a pattern with celebrities where they keep going into Africa or like a third world country, and they have like some kind of foundation. People already trust them because of the media, and people will look the other way, and then they have judges and people. They have. I'm trying to find the right word. They
Yeah,
have like
the connections, maybe.
they have the connections, like they're able to take it to court. They have the legal connections. That's what I'm
Yeah,
trying to say.
legal
The legal
teams.
Yeah.
the legal
Illegal
teams.
kidnapping.
Yeah, the legal way to like obtain these this extortion of kids.
Yeah, it is a like a really good front, like to say you're some kind of a, what do you call it? Some kind of organization that helps these communities, and then just sort of take advantage of them. It's really easy to do.
Yeah.
And
Remember Haiti?
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, like Clinton Foundation, Haiti, Laura Silsby. I mean, does anybody remember Laura Silsby?
Laura Silsby? That sounds
That
familiar.
was the same
I
same
think a
thing.
lot of the elements of the dynamic you're talking about, or that we're talking about, would apply to people in the States too. Poor people in the States might not understand all the legal intricacies of blah, blah, blah. You could be doing it for good looks. I think there's, I don't know, like what you do with the kids and what has happened to these kids, especially the son you said that is now transgender, which means he's in the high suicide category, and might regret what he's doing down the road.
Yeah.
It's very sad. So I will happily say that's horrible, but yeah,
Yeah,
I
these
don't
celebrity
know.
children seem really mentally stable and healthy.
Adopting kids is a good thing. It's worth always saying that, because it doesn't happen enough with good people, and up and down the system here in the States, tons of abuse.
Yeah. You have some history with that, right, Jamie? With adoption and stuff like that?
Who, me?
Yeah, don't you?
No, I'm not adopted, and I don't have any kids, no adoption or anything like that.
I thought I could maybe it was someone else.
I've been in a group home, foster care type situation before. I mean, I'm not going to say that situation I was in was like, awful, but things do happen to those kids in group homes and foster homes. And a lot of it doesn't go reported at all. And sometimes it's the staff. Also, youth alternative programs, like, I don't know if you remember that chick that was on Dr. Phil, Bad Baby, the girl that was like, "Cash me outside, how about that?"
Yeah.
Yeah. So she came out with a statement against Dr. Phil for sending her to this camp because she alleges abuse at it. And she might be right. Like, I'd be inclined to believe her because that shit happens all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't personally have anything happen to me, but I was in a wilderness camp in Newport, North Carolina. It was called Ema Henwa. It was run by Eckerd Youth Alternatives, the same guy, Jack and Ruth Eckerd, Eckerd Drugstores. And one of the night watchmen there, like, I remember this. One of the night watchmen was standing over my cot with his headlamp on me, and I woke up, and when I opened my eyes, like, he runs out of the tent, runs out of the structure. My bunkmate, she was awake, and she's like, "Yeah, I saw him, like, standing over you and mumbling something. It was really weird." Like, what kind of people do these places hire, right?
Yeah.
I know CPS, Child Protective Services, like, they're not vetting everybody that goes through there or those families.
Yeah.
With any given job in society, it's always worth asking, why does this person want this job? You're a teacher of 8-year-olds. Why do you want the job exactly?
Yeah.
Maybe it's to teach kids and you're an amazing person. Maybe you're a shadow pedophile trying to get away with some shit. You don't know.
I guess we can
doctors, gynecologists, for example.
I guess
Need I say more?
I guess we can real quickly, because I did see this. She did pull out from Madonna's book, like a creepy segment. What was it?
Oh yeah,
There it
if you
is.
want, like, you can go ahead and read
About
it.
sleeping with a 17-year-old.
You want, yeah, you want to read it just because.
Hold on, let me do this
creepy.
right. She's talking about. I think this is in her sex book. I think it was called quote
Yeah,
sex.
it was in her from like 1992.
Yeah, sex with the young can be fun if you're in the mood. If you're feeling impatient or feel like you want someone else to take charge, do not have sex with someone inexperienced, but it can be really arousing. One of the best experience I've ever had was with a teenage boy. I think he was a virgin. Yeah.
It doesn't get any better. Look at that. Go straight to the bottom of that text and read it. It says, "But he gave me crab.
Oh
That's what you
God.
get."
Oh
She's
Jesus.
like the queen of
Whoa.
filth. Oh,
She's talking about he's talking about his dick size too.
she's a
This is just
pedophile.
creepy. Yeah, this is
Yeah.
She's a
genuine.
pedophile.
Pedophilia in Hollywood's a fucking weird,
Yeah.
creepy thing, man. And it's so and it's
And this is the person that they allow to adopt kids just because she has like the legal resources to help her out and she has the money.
yeah.
Like she can get away with it. It's sad.
I mean, Laura Silsby works for a branch of Amber Alert now.
Who?
Yeah.
Changed her name, works for Amber Alert Services.
Who works for her?
Laura Silsby.
The,
Okay, Laura Silsby got caught trying to bring kids across the border from Haiti.
Mm-hmm.
Like, she got away with like failure to document where she was taking them, but some of these kids still had parents.
Okay.
yeah,
You know,
that's what was shady about it. It's like I still got dad, man. It's like where are you taking me?
Wait, I want my kids.
Yeah.
Hold up.
Yeah, the I guess we can kind of go into it in a little bit, but like they think of like people taking care after caring for kids becoming kind of more pedophile. That shit's ramping up really creepily. And it makes you wonder like how much you can trust like caretakers and teachers and all that kind of shit. I don't know how you not homeschool nowadays.
Yeah.
I guess we can kind of get into this other story, this trans teacher story. Shit, where is it? Because it's super. I think we can probably end on this one, but anybody want to read that one?
It's brave, beautiful, and stunning.
God. And it's always like the worst looking ones that are the most creepy. You know what I mean?
So there's pretty ones.
It's never like the ones that are passable or like that. It's these fucking like meth head looking ones that are just the fucking worst. But anyways, we'll just read the headline. Trans identified Maine teacher fired after encouraging students to watch their sexually explicit TikTok content. Like, how does this even... How do you not screen for this when you're fucking, you know, getting work?
Because that's a woman, and you can't question that. This woman just wants a job as a teacher. I mean, it must be her maternal instinct. She just wants to teach children.
God, this is so fucking creepy.
I think in this article, doesn't it say that this man is a trans lesbian?
You're probably right. Let's see.
There's a lot of them. It's men that
Yeah, here it is. Yeah.
transition to women that are still sexually attracted to women.
So they're just
And then
straight but wear women's clothes kind of shit?
I don't know if I would call that straight, but you know, a lot of them are like predatory, like
Yeah.
We used to call it mentally ill.
Yeah. In the diagnostics manual, it was body dysmorphia.
But poor fucking kids.
Wait, I'm forgetting the title of this article for a second. This person got fired?
Yeah. I mean, so that's a good thing, but
That's good.
the fact that like this happened in the first place is fucking...
It means it's happening in many, many more cases.
Yeah.
Like with Harvey Weinstein, you really think he was the only guy in Hollywood getting the casting couch treatment?
Yeah.
No, he was the fall guy.
Kevin Spacey did it.
You just need one name, Bill Cosby. Boom. Now we don't have to talk about date rape anymore. You just make a joke about Bill Cosby and you move on.
Yeah, there was that thing about happening with was it Bryan Singer or something like that?
Yeah, the director.
Yeah, I think Bryan Singer, the director, had like something where he was.
I think with Kevin Spacey, right?
Maybe it was some like weird.
No,
it was like some
Kevin
weird...
Spacey just jumped on teenage boys at parties.
Yeah.
No big deal.
Yeah, I think Bryan Singer was in a similar boat, but that like it literally just went out like everyone's attention span just kind of moved on shortly after. I don't know what really happened after that, but it's weird the attention span that people have on shit like this. Like this should get more follow-ups, but
there's articles like this all the time, and people just don't even pay it any bit of attention. I mean, a teacher shouldn't be sharing their private social media with a student, period, regardless of whatever they want to identify as. Like, if they, want to be called Optimus Prime, Transformer robot in disguise, they shouldn't be like, hey, here's my TikTok, little boy.
Yeah, that's like this whole thing of what was it like last year when like the Florida Don't Say Gay whatever bill came out, and there was
That's gay.
The Parental Rights in Education Act.
But everyone's like a sort of like response to that was like something like, so a teacher's not supposed to share that stuff with their students, and I was just like, I never went to school and cared about my teachers that much. Like I didn't really care about their private lives. I didn't give a shit. But
yeah, I don't want to know.
Even in sex ed, you don't have to talk about sexual preferences as a subject in and of itself. You just talk about contraception and the mechanics of things.
Yeah.
You don't have to get into these lifestyle things. You don't have to get into these subjects really at any point in education. It's a perversion of this, and then it's a perversion of the whole educational dynamic. Like you don't have to. I was getting into an argument with someone that I should not have been wasting my time talking to. That like had a hard time believing that anyone could try to present history or various subjects in a relatively unbiased fashion.
Yeah.
Therefore, they just had to have the right bias, and it's all about them pushing the things that they like. And I was like talking about history without having your political opinions bleed through.
Right.
It's like you can say that there's economic inequality amongst the races in America today. And you could say that slavery was a thing. You could say that Jim Crow was a thing, but you don't have to tie those things together to say one explains the other. That just doesn't have to come up in a history class. But they're wanting the right to feed that kind of crap into the educational system.
I think a lot of people get into like this weird endorphin rush when they kind of like talk about these things without like any nuance. They just want to be the person that brings up the subject of systemic racism, so they can have like this little like imaginary medal that they're giving, but there's nothing.
My virtue.
Yeah. So I mean, like, it's
what's my favorite is all the people that are becoming libertarians all of a sudden with education. They're like, the government's censoring what we can and can't learn. It's really a problem. And I'm like,
yeah,
you finally figured it out. Good job. It goes both ways.
Now you're
like
it.
Literally 12 years ago, that was just like, that's a standard conservative libertarian. It's like that's literally conservatism, libertarianism 101 stuff. It's like if the government can exercise arbitrary power, it can go politically both ways.
Yeah.
I think I know I said it before, but like the mindset I think is, if you have the media and the masses consensus, you feel that you can change the world. But as soon as you feel that you're alone, that's when you're like, oh, well, maybe I don't have any control. And that's how they're trying to make people feel, is like, well, you have no control over what's happening. But the people that listen to the media they want to be in control, and by going with the media, they feel that they have the ultimate control, and that's why they're always like so happy to, even if they're wrong, they're so happy to just join in with everybody else.
That's what made me sort of like turn on religion. Like I used to like not really think that much about religion, but like what you're saying is like people follow something, and if you take away religion out of people, they're just going to have something else tell them what to do, what to follow, and it's fucked when that thing is just the television. You know what I mean? It's not it's not other people, it's not community, it's just, you know, whatever. It's fucking Hassan Piker telling them how to fucking, you know, what to think. And it's fucked how deep that kind of is on a lot of weird basis. Like I don't think a lot of people watch the news, but they do get their like the influence that the media has on people is really strong. Even just like, you know, when people are just watching something on Netflix and there's like that abortion episode and it takes like a very specific stance, I try to tell people, like, you know, that's kind of deliberate, right? Like, it's like what they're doing is that they're trying to influence you in a specific way. I don't know, maybe because I went to school for graphic design, that like I see that stuff easy, but
marketing.
Yeah, I see like the marketing angle and everything. But it's just so bizarre that like people don't see that, and
it's a confirmation bias, because they're like, why would they try to do that? That doesn't make any sense. Why would the powers that be in media put things out there to make me feel or think a certain way? Why would they do that? I would never do that to someone.
Yeah,
it's confirmation bias.
Yeah, because
why would somebody want to have kids? I wouldn't do it. Confirmation bias.
Yeah, like I have a cousin who's like pretty left leaning, and you know, we've had discussions here and there, and like I usually kind of destroy him, but I just imagine, just like, you know, right after he's done with me, he just like turns on the television. He's just told that he's right by the television, and he doesn't need to change. And it's really fucked to see like just people trust the media more than they trust like just regular people. You know what I mean?
Trust the media, like the CDC. Like, I mean, I was watching the VAERS reporting system throughout this whole thing, and like at the beginning of it, you know, I started to see like these trends, and the numbers were insane. The number of adverse, you know, but then you got the news reporting on it, CDC and the World Health Organization, and it's like they'll recant their statements, they'll go back on things they've said, and even say things that, you know, people with any kind of sense of critical thinking were saying from the beginning. Nobody bats an eye. They've already got that whatever was told to them first and really drilled in with fear set in their head. They're not going to see it.
Yeah, like I do get the sense sometimes when like I see like old friends and family stuff that like I've had disagreements with, that like I think they realize that like maybe I was right on some things, so like they're a little bit more uncomfortable being around me, because you know what I mean. So that's just that's really bizarre. Kind of just makes me like, it kind of makes me just wonder like how the future is going to be, like as far as just discourse between people. Because like I'm not sure if it's getting better or if it's getting more hostile.
I still troll in comment sections sometimes if I get bored, but it's like you can't get angry. You just gotta like laugh at how ridiculous it is, but still use facts and logic at the same time. Like ridicule them, but don't say anything that can be proven false. Like just straight facts.
Yeah, I'm not even talking about like just the internet. I'm just talking about like just, you know, going just like Thanksgiving dinner and just having a conversation like this. Like I'm not sure if that's gonna be possible. I don't know.
I think if you focus on what common ground you can establish, or what
Mm-hmm.
what, subjects are less controversial,
Mm-hmm.
you can make some headway. I talk to politics with everybody. I
Yeah.
talked to in California when I lived in California. I talked to everybody that I work with, everybody that I talk to. I did petitioning, out with the public, the politically active public there. 99% of people out there, they're reasonable.
Mm-hmm.
Occasionally you get it's literally 1 in 100 is in my case, 1 in 100 people will either say, what I said is either evil or stupid, and that's why I'm either a Republican or Democrat. And if they're a Democrat, they say I'm a Republican. If I'm a Republican, they say I'm a Democrat.
Yeah.
But it's just because I don't agree with them, and they get mad when people disagree with them. So,
Yeah.
but that's a pretty rare person. But the internet is almost exclusively those people.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
1 in 100, we're all talking to each other, and we're controlled.
Mm-hmm.
Who's seeing what is controlled through this medium. Flesh and blood in the real world, you get the real population. You get to actually talk to everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
And so it's yeah. There's a balance to be struck, of course.
Yeah.
And online has its own value. But
Yeah.
I know it's difficult, but I think we do need to focus on trying to make these direct connections with people outside, not just in social media, but directly,
Mm-hmm.
because it's gonna just help society, and
especially in
it's
the
also
AI
gonna
era.
yeah,
Yeah.
and it's also I think the reason why I've been able to kind of continue doing what I do, work wise, is because I'm building these direct connections. I don't need to have 5 million followers, but I'm building a direct connection with people. I
Yeah.
don't have to necessarily talk about politics. I just have to make a connection with somebody and just have them enjoy what I do and just kind of give have something of value to offer to them.
Yeah.
You don't always have to talk about politics. I think the only time I talk about politics nowadays is if they can't bring. I mean, I'm not gonna
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna eventually at some point have to draw the line. Like when they were trying to get me vaccinated for certain events, yeah, I'm gonna draw the line on
Yeah.
certain things or wear a mask. I mean, I'm not gonna wear a mask anymore.
Yeah.
I've been talking with an aunt of mine who's she worked on the Obama Biden campaign. Her daughter supported Kamala Harris right before the week before she closed her campaign down. She donated money to her. I thought that was wonderful. I just it was beautiful. Just want to note, Kamala Harris did officially support filling the rape kit. There's $1 billion worth of rape kits that need to be produced out there that are not in police departments and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
She said she would support that, so that was one reason why someone might support her. Anywho,
What is that
I've been working on my aunt for 3 years with very patient, very narrow, very vague
Mm-hmm.
political conversation. I have never outright said I'm a Trump supporter, so I've gotten to listen to her talk endless smack on Trump supporters, and I've been sitting there quietly just laughing to myself, being like, if only you knew. But for the sake of this conversation, I don't need to actually come out and say it.
Yeah.
Because if she ever finds out or whenever the time comes, then, egg on her face. I don't really care. But she's gone from Trump supporters are all Nazis to some very small number of Trump supporters are Nazis, and a bunch of them are just picking the least of the evils kind of thing. And so you can chip away at the bullshit, but it's crusty and stuck on there.
Yeah, that's
I've had a lot of people come up to me randomly, people talk at me, and I usually have some kind of crazy hair color, it's purple right now, be blue, pink, so people think that I have more modern left-leaning ideals. So they just come up to me and they talk to me about all kinds of shit, and I can't tell you how many times people come up to me and be like, "Oh, I hate Trump. He's such a racist." I just sit there
yeah.
Never once in their mind does it ever occur to them that I voted for him or that I agree with him. They
Yeah.
just can't fathom it because it's that's another confirmation bias. They see the way that I look,
Mm-hmm.
recognize it as something they're familiar with, and they base their opinion of me and what they think I think on that.
Yeah.
So just let them do it, and then you find that those people, they like you because you listen to them.
Yeah.
You know, you're doing what any human being would do, is just you're being kind, polite, keeping conversation.
Yeah.
But they don't want to
when
hear
they
what you.
demonize the right, they are sort of creating uh, engineered tacit approval, basically by introducing the subject as if you disagree with me, you're a piece of crap, and that's built into the way they talk about it. You either have to say maybe I'm a piece of crap, or you have to like ninja your way around that.
Yeah.
And ninja-ing is a lot more fun.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, that's why I think culture is a lot more important than the right kind of wants to admit, because a lot of it is just, like, if, like, I'm trying to set up like a music mix show, and the reason I'm trying to do that is to, like, everyone knows my politics. It's not like I'm fucking, like, with a fucking air horn just like saying my positions on things, but I have this show, and I have everything on my one channel because I don't want to separate anything. But I'm not shy about, like, what I believe in, but I'm also into other things, and I just wanted to show you that I'm just a normal person, and I like, music, I like records, I like collecting, stuff like that. I'm not this bad person that you've heard about because I think this about a specific subject matter, and it just annoys me that, like, when I see the right not engaging with culture. I used to shit on, like, the idea of, like, people making political art, because I do find it really douchey, but I do think that there is a specific purpose for it, like, to make content that, like, promotes things like individuality, free speech, you name it, like freedom. Like, there is a purpose for that, and I never wanted to be that guy that made kind of art like that, because it's just not me. Like, I like silly, weird shit, but now when I turn on fucking Netflix or Hulu or something, it's all just super left-leaning shit. And it's like, well, where the hell? I can't just wait for anyone else to make it, so I have to kind of make some cultural things put it out there, just to, like, try to get people to think a little bit more about things. Like, that's why I'm doing my movie show. I'm trying to do like I said, I'm trying to do my music show. I'm trying to vend and sell, merch and shit like that. And, if you want to know what I think about, like, transgenderism, you can follow this show too, and just know that I'm not this evil person. You know what I mean? So I wish the right would kind of adopt that more and not be so how do you call it, like, what would be the word, like, so afraid of, like, art and media in that form. It just annoys the fuck out of me that they don't do that. I don't know. I guess we can kind of start ending the show from that. I don't know if you guys have anything you want to add to that.
Yeah, I think that's what's missing, like, in comedy and, like, in art, just, like, making fun of yourself, not taking yourself so seriously. I think that's why Conan O'Brien was so funny back in the day initially.
Yeah.
It's because he would always make fun of himself. It was always, like, kind of like, and they just, like, it was about just, like, his shortcomings.
Yeah.
And that was funny, and it was honest. And now it's like, if you're on the right or if you're on the left, it's like so hardcore propaganda when it comes to satire. Or no, satire is not one-sided. It's everything. Everything can be funny. You can exaggerate and poke fun at both sides. It doesn't just have to be one-sided, but it just seems like there's a dogma on both sides. It's like, hey, it's like, just everything is everything can be funny.
Yeah.
Making fun of Trump is fun. Doing the stuff, the tremendous whatever. Like, it's fun.
I've never like gotten mad at people making fun of Trump, but it's like you can tell when somebody is actually being funny and somebody just being whiny and just like not being funny. Just so you're being like this.
Yeah.
Yeah, like make fun. It's easy to make fun of them, so you don't have to like sound like all resentful. Just actually do it.
Feel like South Park.
Yeah.
South
Yeah.
Park, like unabashedly, just shits on everybody. I mean, it's great.
Mhm.
Has,
You can laugh about
It's the difference
something
between
around.
propagandistic art and conscious art.
Yeah.
If you're trying to distort the truth, then it's just propaganda. That's my working definition of it. But if you're just trying to highlight the truth and speak truth,
Mm-hmm.
then taking that conscious rap or conscious art approach is the right way to go. It's dangerous though, because and Tom
Yeah.
McDonald talked about this in his music. You develop an accountability and a relationship with your fans
Yeah.
that not everyone is ready for. If you're one of the mask folks, you're not going to do that.
Yeah.
If you're one of the real folks, it's still a giant ask. It's very difficult to say you're fully committed to speaking the truth, because sometimes that will put a target on your back, and people don't like that.
Yeah. It's a fucked up
Yeah,
thing.
it's very not fun.
Huh?
I mean, Tupac.
Well,
Yeah.
Tupac, like he wanted to like start
His
own
parents were like
political party.
Black Panthers, like
Yeah, Tupac.
deep
He
into
wanted to start his
the
own political party.
Yeah, no,
Black Power structure.
his parents were, I think, into like Black Panther stuff. I think his mom.
I thought of the funniest shit at work the other day.
What?
I am now officially the white face of black supremacy.
What was it that they called that?
Just doing my part.
Who came up with that initially?
The white face of
The LA Times.
the LA,
The black face of white supremacy.
Larry.
Yeah, who
Elder.
Larry Elder.
I mean,
I know his face.
the
His name.
Chappelle.
Dave Chappelle.
Dave Chappelle.
It wasn't Chappelle. No. Is he a politician? I think he's a politician. It's either that or like some kind of media personality. But oh my god, I'm drawing a blank on his name right now. Like it should come to me, but
Yeah.
that guy.
There's a meme of Peter Griffin with he's like in a Miss Universe thing, and he's got the band, but it says and the caption is Joe Biden for some reason, and then it's King of the Black People.
Oh.
If you don't vote for me over Trump, you ain't black.
You ain't black, yeah. The pandering. There's always some pandering.
I guess
that's like ballsy pandering. Like if that happened in face to face with a younger black guy, I would hope he would hit him in the face. I mean, Jesus Christ.
I would hit him in the face right now. No questions asked. I don't care about his age. I don't care how frail he is. The guy is a child predator. And honestly, I wouldn't feel bad at all if anything happened to him. But they're about to get rid of him. I'm telling you right now, like he's about to be gone soon, whether he's dead or
it would be self-defense. He'd be slowly going in to sniff your hair, and you'd be like, and
like, no, sir, I am of legal age. Stay away from me.
You're like, I might look young, but I'm actually a legal adult. And he's like, oh, never mind that.
Right, no, I don't want you. Jeez. God, I thought you were 12.
You're over 12 years old? Spoiled goods.
I just imagine him just like eating his dinner or whatever. You try to like sneak up to hit him, and like he just catches your fist and like turns like a robot, kind of like, you know what I mean?
I keep having an image of Joe Biden as Maester Pasilis or whatever from Game of Thrones. It's the old man that pretends to be all feeble and goes all around and like is like hunched over. And then there's scenes where he's like he shows he's just making like he's just faking it, and he can move just fine, and he's actually all there.
Oh, like
so I'm like Joe Biden's just faking us out with all the gaffes.
Yeah, that would be kind of crazy, kind of like that one movie, The Usual Suspects, with
like Kaiser Sose.
Kaiser Sose, that he just he's like he's faking it. He just like walks out of the police station and like throws his
like after he does like a press conference, he just goes in the curtains and just like fixes his tie, and he has like an English accent or something like that, and fucking
yeah, when he walks into the limo, right?
Yeah.
I guess purposely unlikable. Like nobody fucking loved. Like nobody liked Joe Biden. We had him for 8 years as Obama's VP. He's a piece of shit. We all know this. I mean, and I thought that both parties knew this. Like nobody really liked him. I think he's just the scapegoat, the sacrificial scapegoat.
He's like a placeholder more than anything.
Yeah, proxy.
Yeah. I guess before we go, we can watch like this really douchey pandering Black History Month thing that I found. I guess you guys want to plug anything before we go?
Find me on Instagram at KonekoJiemi. That right there. Don't ask me how to spell it.
Is that your last name or what is that? Like the Kone?
It's just a pseudonym. It's so dumb. I've been using it on the internet for years, but it's the Japanese word for kitten, and then my name and like the phonetic spelling of how they would spell it with their characters in Japanese.
Koneko.
So it's like kitten. So is kitten Jamie? Okay.
Yes.
Jay, you want to plug anything before we end the show? Yeah.
No.
All right.
My stuff's out there.
All right, let's watch this really douchey thing before we go, and then can you guys see that?
I love you, black man.
Oh wait, let me refresh this.
I love you, black man. I love you, black man. I love you, black man. I love you.
Ah, shit.
Black man. I
Is
love
this
you.
a Pornhub commercial?
Ah. There we go. All right, now here we go. What the fuck? Why isn't it playing? Ah, you son of a bitch.
You black man. I love you, black man. I love you, black man.
I love you, black man.
I love you, black man. I love you, black man.
I love you, black man. I love you, black man. I love you, black man. I love you, black man. I love you, black man. I love you, black man.
I love you, black man.
Black man, I love you.
All right.
The one guy at the end, like, yes, thank you.
That's the end of that.
That one at the end fucked me up. I'm like, I can't.
I have no disagreement here.
Yeah.
That was the only innocent one I heard in that whole video.
All right, I guess we'll end it there. Thank you guys for watching. It's been good a nice break, but we're back, so we'll make this a weekly thing. Thank you guys for watching. Peace.